If you are wishing to know more about fishing, you don't need a book, just come and see the Cook and the Cook. If you are looking to know more about cooking, you know where to look, just come and see the Cook and the Cook. Scotty will hook 'em, and Paul he will cook 'em.
They like to travel and learn new stuff.
Come and see the Hook and the Cook.
Today on The Hook and the Cook, we're heading inland to a lovely place called Kangaroo Valley. Kangaroo Valley is about 2 hours from Sydney and only 20 minutes west of Nowra. But on the way, we're going to drop by Berrima. This quaint little town was founded in 1831 and is home to Australia's oldest registered pub. There we are. Guys. How you going, mate?
Good,
you know
mate.
Scotty, don't you?
Hey, Tony, good to see you again.
Good to meet you again.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
So, Tony, what's going on here? I've just seen this, mate. They've got a big carpathon here last week. We missed out.
Yeah, it's a terrific weekend, mate.
Yeah.
You know, 1,800 fish caught compared to 270 last year.
1,800 fish.
1,800, yeah.
That's a lot of carp.
Yeah. And the biggest was 6.7 kilo. So
Is there any other types of fish in there, or?
Oh,
is it
there
just
is,
carp?
but we've got the problem with the carp, and we're trying to manage it, and that's basically what this competition's about, is to try and clear the river systems.
What sort of bait you been using for the carp and the
Corn, basically. It's just
sweet corn?
Yeah, and we just usually 1 hour, so
Yeah.
you need to get 4 sweet corn on a hook, and then I use a leader, the Vanish, and that's I've been using 8 pound,
Yeah.
and then my main line is 10 pound. Yeah.
And what about eating quality of carp, you reckon, Tony?
Well,
a lot of people give it a bit of a bad reputation.
And the main thing is getting people used to the flavour. And once it's mind over matter, once they've basically eaten carp, you know, and there's countries in the world that love carp, it's the number 1 fish. So Australians have been spoiled, as you know, when you're trying to get them educated to carp, is a hurdle.
Easy.
But once they've tasted it, mind over matter.
With a full stomach and a bottle of Sauv Blanc in hand, we hit the road and head down to Kangaroo Valley. Kangaroo Valley is described by many as the most beautiful valley in Australia and has plenty on offer for those who want to get out and get active. But today we're going to hit the Kangaroo River and need to hire some canoes.
Right. I'm Glenn.
How you going?
Doing good.
Paul, how are you, mate?
Welcome, Paul. How are you?
Good, good.
We've got a couple of boats down there for you on the trailer.
Beautiful, mate.
Glenn hooks us up with some gear and great advice on the best locations to fish and camp. You come up this way a bit. Let's go and do it. That point looks good too, it goes around. Let's go to the point and work our way around this bend. Okay, we're up on Tallowa Dam at Kangaroo Valley. We're in a nice little backwater here and we're looking for carp. We're spinning for bass as well around these timbers and the trees and stuff and the rocky banks. But I've just come into this corner here and seen a big carp come out of the shallows. So what I'm doing is I've got a bit of chopped pasta, bread, chook pellets, some sweet corn, and I'm just going to ground bait or burley the area, and then we're going to go off fishing for bass, then come back in about half an hour's time and sit here and see how we go.
Oh, I seen him come up there.
Oh, they're all little fish. Oh, he's back in the water. You blink and you miss them.
Oh, the side. This side.
Well, it's a bass.
There's a beautiful Australian bass, and you can see how
He's a weenie one.
he's a weenie bass, tiny little bass. Let's get him back on hurt if we can. Trying to unhook him. I've got the hook out. There he is. My first ever Australian bass. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get this fella back in the water straight away. There we go, mate. And away he goes. How good's that? How many inches was that? Probably about 4 inches.
Well, that's our second small bass. It's quite cool down here at the moment. We had a southerly change earlier in the week. 4 or 5 days ago it was quite humid, and that would have been the day to be out here fishing for them. Those nice steamy hot afternoons, the bass are really active. We've seen a few fish rise and take our lures, but not real aggressive.
It's only a baby.
And most of the fish seem to be about this same size. Fish or no fish, what a great spot to be in.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
After hooking a few small bass, it's time to go and chase some carp. We head back to the spot we burleyed. Hopefully we can catch something a little bigger.
Got a fish on. Beautiful, Scott.
That was in the water for like 3 seconds. Just shows you like these little sheltered bays, a little bit of burley, duck away for a little while, come back,
Oh, he's taking you around the
and you can have a lot of fun.
Take him out. Come on, you're over there.
Oh, they're goers.
Good fish.
Yeah. I might stand up, get a bit of height on him.
Just take your time, mate. Good goer.
They've got some go in them, haven't they?
Yeah. Don't go too hard on him. Nice.
Hey. Well, it's definitely worth throwing that burley in that little corner. We've been fishing for bass down there for about an hour. A few small fish, a lot of fun. We've come back in, first bait in the water. Carp probably around the 2 to 3 kilo mark. So, a lot of fun. Beautiful big fish. So Paul is going to cook up something wonderful with this fella. Hopefully. No pressure there, Paul, no pressure.
I'll try my best, mate. I'll try my best. We're doing our job for the environment at the moment. Scott.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. A bit more bread.
Hey, he's a big fish. Oh, look at him go! Woo! Look at that guy. Oh, he's dragging the canoe round. It's a big fish.
You can see me ended up in the water here. That's better.
Yeah, she's going off, mate. This is great fishing. Unbelievable. Who would have thought carp fishing would have been this much fun? Mate, he must be a monster, this thing.
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. He's got plenty of go in him. There he is. I'm getting that excited. I've got an oar in one hand. I'll just hit him on the head when he comes up, should I?
And then
Oh, look at this fella. Mate, he's a monster. Want a little bit of stale bread.
look at that one.
There's another scourge that we've gotten rid of. Wow.
Hey?
Yeah. There's plenty of tempura in him.
How much can tempura one man eat?
All right.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, we've got back very late tonight. We've had too much fun out there on the water today. Scott's filleting the fish that we're going to marinate overnight in salt water so it purges and we get rid of that muddy flavour, and we're going to knock them up tomorrow.
Now this fish, I bled it before we filled it. I'm just going around the rib cage. So there we have a fillet. I've left all the rib cage and gut section untouched. There's quite a large fish, but not a lot of meat out of it. Now the main part that we're looking to take out of the carp is this section through here. Okay, so we might do a couple others, get ourselves a fair bit of flesh, and that way Paul's got something to work with.
So here we are in Kangaroo Valley. We're at Tallowa Dam. It's the morning after the carpathon. So these are our carp fillets that we've had purging overnight, and we're going to take the meat off these, and we're going to marinate these in a little bit of soy sauce, sesame seed oil and garlic. And I'm going to make a quick tempura batter. We're just going to throw some beautiful spring water into my egg whites. I've got 2 egg whites here. We're just going to whip these up. It has to be really, really cold for when we make our tempura batter. Basically, when it hits the hot oil, we want it to bubble up straight away. Beautiful, that's about as far as we need them to go. I've got some half corn flour in here and half plain flour. We're going to add our egg whites to this, and then we're just going to fold this into our flour. A little bit more water. I want it to be nice and light. Now, that's made. Earlier on I prepped up some vegetables. Asparagus, we've got some oyster mushrooms, some shiitake mushrooms, and some snow peas. Alright, we're just going to toss these in our corn flour here, and then we're going to put that into our batter, along with our vegetables. Now all these should take around about the same amount of time to cook. Just lightly toss them in, and then straight into our batter. Our vegetables as well. And then we're going to drop these straight into our wok. Okay, that's all coming up nicely. Once they come up to the surface, they should be just cooked. We're going to fry these till they're just lightly golden. We'll leave that to fry now. So I'm going to get our platter ready. I've just got some beautiful coriander that I've brought with me. How are these looking? Looking nice and crispy, beautiful. I'm going to take these out now, pop these on my towel down here, let them drain off. We're also going to make a lovely garnish to go over the top. Here we've got some red onion, some chilies, capsicum, zest of lemon, and also lime. They're going to go straight in our fryer right now, and I'm just going to crisp those up, and that's going to be my garnish. And to finish it off, I'm making a lemon butter sauce. I've reduced some lemon juice and white wine to make a sticky syrup, and I'm whisking in a bit of cream. Throwing some salt and pepper, and then some cold cube butter, with the pan off the heat to emulsify the sauce. Now we can plate up our tempura carp. That's nice. Aside from great fishing and beautiful views, Kangaroo Valley is home to some of the best fresh produce. We're catching up with Tony Moran, who runs a local cooking school called Flavours of the Valley. Today she'll be teaching us how to make fresh pasta, but first we need to grab a few ingredients from some local producers. Our first stop is Banksia Park Olive Grove, where Paul Williams will hook us up with some of their award-winning extra virgin olive oil. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. It's nice.
You can really taste the olives, can't you?
Yeah,
like
really.
Yeah.
Really, it's got almost a fruity.
It's fresh,
Yeah.
and that's the whole key.
It's lovely.
So I've got my olive oil bottle. So can you fill my bottle for me, please?
Yeah, certainly.
That's where we're off to next.
We're going to aquaponics now.
Aquaponics.
Yes,
Sounds
so
good.
learn a little bit about what that is. Okay, so Wendy, this is Scott.
Hey,
Hi,
how you going,
Scott.
Wendy? Nice to meet you.
And Paul.
G'day, how are you?
And they've come to learn all about aquaponics today.
Yes, this is called a deep flow or raft system.
Okay.
All this is filled with water, all these tanks. The idea, at a very basic level, the idea with aquaponics is that the fish feed the plants. They provide nutrients to the water, which the plants then take up, and the plants in turn filter the water for the fish. And the good thing about it is that you can't use any herbicides or pesticides. It's a nice organic type process.
We might get ourselves some lettuce.
Yeah, can you pick some for me for my salad? Sure.
That's absolutely fantastic. We could spend the whole day exploring the valley's many local flavours. And if you're down this way, Flavours of the Valley run an incredible foodies tour. But time has got the better of us today, so we quickly grab a couple more local products and head back to cook up lunch. So here we are at Flavours of the Valley Cooking School with Tony after we've been round and done our gourmet tour, and we've brought back some beautiful produce and also a brand new student, being Scott.
So what we're going to do is just make a pumpkin-filled ravioli today. We've got some free-range eggs that we've picked up around the valley. It's 100 grams of flour for every 1 egg. So this is a dough scraper. And what you're going to do with your dough scraper is just make a circle or a well in the centre of your flour. So it's a bit like a volcano. And then when you've got that, you want to put a little bit aside just in case. Okay, Nonna always says just in case. Okay, so breaking an egg into the centre, Scott. So 2 eggs because we've got a double batch here. And I'm just using just plain flour. It doesn't have to be 00 flour. So you're just going to beat up your eggs, Scott.
Yeah, I'm following your lead.
Good. Until they're all beaten up. Okay.
So I noticed we're working on a wooden bench. What was the reason why we're working on a wooden bench?
Well, timber is the best surface to work on for pasta. Scott, just while I'm talking about the bench, if you want to just add a little bit of flour at a time. Because a timber bench actually helps to absorb the moisture out of the pasta. You'll find if you do it on a stainless steel bench or a granite bench, you keep adding more and more flour because it stays sticky. So the timber bench, because it's a natural finish, it just absorbs the moisture out of the pasta and it gives you a much better pasta. So what you want to end up with, Scott, is something that's a bit like a thick custard. Okay, so and don't worry about lumps because we're going to knead the lumps out a little bit later on. Okay, so now you're going to get rid of your fork. So just scrape off your excess custard mix off your fork and just get rid of your fork and put that to the side. Yep, that's beautiful. Okay, so use your dough scraper. And this is probably enough to feed 3-4 people maybe. Okay, so just using your dough scraper now, just drop your flour on top of your custard mix so that it's completely covered like that. Oh, you're good at this.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to now scoop from underneath and drop it on top. So scoop and drop. And you're kind of like chopping it as it would happen if it was in a food processor. I don't use a food processor. I think that pasta comes from the way it feels and comes from your heart. So using a food processor, you can't feel it. Okay, so now it's time to get your hands dirty.
Good.
All right, so put your dough scraper to the side. Now you're just going to be gentle, you don't be tough, okay, because you'll end up with it all over your hands. So just a little bit of gentle bringing it in together. That's all you want to do for now. We're not going to knead it just yet. We just want to get it together so it forms like a ball. How are you going? Yep. If it's a bit sticky, this is where your just in case comes in. So just a sprinkle, not too much. Yep, just get it into a ball. Now use your dough scraper and I want you to clean off your surface now. Scrape it away. Okay, so you've got a nice clean surface to work with. And now it's time to start kneading your flour. Now I call this rock and roll. Okay, so you're going to rock back and roll the dough forward. So it's like a backwards and forwards stepping motion. And that way you don't get big nonna arms if you take your time. Okay, so it's a step back and a roll forward and then a quarter of a turn. Step back, roll forward. This is where the rhythm comes in.
No rhythm.
No rhythm. And if it feels a little bit tacky, that's where your just in case comes in. So just a little bit again, not too much. You don't want to overdo it.
I notice your fingers have got not much on them.
And you'll start to feel that pasta change in your hands and you can actually see it changing. Can you see that changing, Paul?
Yeah, it's starting to laminate up.
Yeah, starting to come together now. And the secret number is 6 minutes. So we should really knead this pasta for 6 minutes. That develops the gluten, makes your dough nice and strong, so that when you go to cook it, it doesn't all fall apart in the pot. So that's pretty much what you want. When you touch that and it bounces back, that means your pasta's ready, and that's what you need. So what we're going to do, we'll let that sit there, and then shall we go and make some sauce?
That'd be fantastic. We're making 2 simple sauces to go with our pasta, a rich tomato sauce and a buttercream sauce. To make the rich tomato sauce, simply saute some onions and garlic in olive oil. Add some pureed tomatoes, a bit of cinnamon, sugar, salt and pepper, and let it simmer. For buttercream sauce, combine equal parts of butter and cream, grated nutmeg, and salt and pepper.
So we want to check and see how our pasta's going. It's been sitting there for about half an hour and it's beautiful. That's exactly what you want it to be like. So it's a little bit more sticky than it was before when we started. Now I find it easy to use just half the amount. A full amount's a bit too much. So just a sprinkle of just a little bit of flour. Okay, so you want to roll it out probably a little bit thinner than the actual width of the machine. Okay, starting on the biggest setting. and just wind your pasta through.
When you say biggest setting, would that be, what number would that be?
That's a number 2.
Number
My
2.
machine goes up to number 9. So 2, well, 1's the biggest, but 1 I don't use it. It's much too big. So every time you go through the second time,
Yep.
a little bit more flour. I'll change it to number 6 for you, and start it going through, and then just let that drop. Let this one drop.
Okay.
Yep, and now you control the one coming out of the bottom. Let it drop. That's it. Take it through. Very good.
Beautiful.
So now that pasta is ready to fill.
No worries.
Traditional way to fill it is we're cutting it in half.
Yep.
I'll only do a little bit, so I'll do about this much.
Yep.
And then we're cutting it into a square, so that you end up with a square. Okay, and take that little bit to the side. So like I said, this is our pumpkin filling. You generally make the filling the day before, so it's got time to develop its flavours and whatever in the fridge, and it thickens up a little bit in the fridge. Yep. So picking up your square, a little bit of the filling.
Just pumpkin and...
It's roast pumpkin, it's got cheese, it's got breadcrumbs, nutmeg,
Yep.
egg.
And the eggs
Okay.
basically to bind
Eggs
it.
to bind it together, yeah. And the breadcrumbs that help to thicken it up, because pumpkin's quite a wet mix.
Okay.
So I follow you doing?
So yep, you can follow me if you like. So I put a spoonful into the centre.
I suppose when you've made thousands of these, you become
It's very easy, yeah. Fold it in half. Now what happens is if you have filling around the edge, so I've got a little bit around the edge there, that might pop open when you're cooking it, so you'll end up with pumpkin water and empty pasta.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful when you're doing that. Pressing it together, a twist to the bottom, and there's your tortellini again. We're going to make up the rest of our pasta, and then we can cook that up in some boiling water, have it with our sauces and a bit of cheese, and that's it, done.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we cooked the pasta in boiling water for about 10 minutes, served it up with our 2 sauces, and threw together a salad along with an antipasto platter made up of everything we collected on our foodies tour.
Let's eat and enjoy.
Let's eat and enjoy. Do right.
Cheers, guys.
Yep.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on The Hook and the Cook. On the way back to Sydney, we drop into the Illawarra Fly. It's an amazing treetop walk above a beautiful rainforest canopy.
We're a part of the Great Dividing Range here on the Illawarra Escarpment.
It's an absolutely beautiful spot. And you do sunrise
Yes,
tours
sunrise
as well?
walks. We run those on the second Saturday of every month.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a great photographic opportunity. Yes, every time you come here you see something different.
What a great way to cap off a fantastic weekend.